Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Luke Heyman, and today I'm trying something a little different. I mean, really different. This has nothing to do with organization. I just watched basically a UFC fight night for like 3 hours with the boys here in the fraternity house, and honestly, I'm not someone who was really exposed to fighting my whole life, so this is suddenly a new concept that I've had to deal with by kind of like being around such masculinity. I was never around masculinity before. I mostly had kind of like female friends or less aggressive friends. So what are my reactions to this? Kind of like the way I work is I always have an internal moral compass, and I'm always confused, and I'm always exploring situations which I've never had to deal and figure out what my moral compass is. And so UFC, I had no idea what to expect. You know, like at the start you kind of think like, on one hand, it's it's a super primal thing, and we are no longer very primal, right? So the concept of fighting and like two people beating each other up, that's kind of everything that society is wanting, you know? Like, people don't want that, and like especially from my point of view and from the way my parents raised me, and you know, I'm kind of just like, the general world doesn't accept violence. So why do so many people watch violence? It's an extraordinary question, and watching, I kind of started understanding a little bit more. Honestly, it's kind of it's not just about the fight. I'm realizing it's not just about seeing some guy hit someone else. You know, there's a lot of strategy involved, for one, and there's a lot of ego. It's really challenging your ego, and it's putting a lot of stakes on the line. You know, like for example, the fight we watched today with at the end. Okay, I forget the guys' names. Gethige and crap, what was the other guy? Okay, I can picture their faces really well. I will link their names somewhere else here, but it's super interesting just like seeing how they're fighting and how they both come with a big reputation. One hasn't lost in 8 years, and the other one is like fourth and needs a championship, hasn't lost in a while as well. So they're kind of like the unfolding of all that tension of emotion in one place is super interesting. And so it really brings you back to the, like, there's like, it really brings me back to the point that UFC, on one hand, yes, it's about brutality and fighting and violence and enjoying that. It's also kind of about the strategy involved. And actually talking a bit about the primal thing, yes, it's negatively seen, but because this is kind of in a context which is supervised, there's a lot of like decision making to make it more structured and like really make sure people are safe. The aim is not to kill someone. It's actually a really interesting kind of safe environment to see fighting, see something that you wouldn't necessarily see all the time. These are also kind of like, it's not anyone who can just jump into a ring, and it's really fascinating to see not only like kind of like the different personalities of people who go in, but how they deal with it, how they prepare before, what are the reasons for fighting. You know, one guy's literally fighting because he's like sad about his daughter kind of being murdered, and so he's kind of processing his emotions through that. So it's a kind of a super interesting, just wide view. You've got heavyweight, featherweight, all kinds of, and they're all very different fights. You've got a whole community, even just seeing today inside kind of like coronavirus times, seeing how this fight was made, how the systems that were in place, making sure that everyone was tested beforehand, half the people had masks, no crowd, really interesting. Kind of seeing how UFC plays out without the crowd, because the crowd really kind of wants to celebrate with the winner. And so here, though, seeing the winner kind of just like, they were happy, but it's like a part of them must be empty because they have got no one to share the happiness with but themselves. And so that was really interesting, just really interesting, kind of seeing that whole situation unfold, not only during coronavirus times, but just the concept of fighting as well. So what have I decided in the end? Honestly, I don't have a point of view on this. It's more like, if you enjoy fighting, then go for it. If you like fighting, go for it. As long as parties are consenting, as long as people aren't dying, and people are, you know, it's okay to kind of be hurt once in a while. You need that release of anger, emotion, etc. Like, for example, I haven't gone to a fight. I mean, look at me. But one time I did fight was basically punching a guy in like grade 6 or something, because he was making fun of me for soccer, etc. And yeah, I punched him in the face, and I don't have a negative memory of that. I'm perfectly fine with punching this guy in the face. In my opinion, he deserved it, and I got left alone after. Violence did solve my issues. It was my last restraint, and sure, I did not have full control of myself, but it ended well. I'm doing okay. What are your thoughts on UFC fighting? What do you think? It's okay, bad? I would love to know. Please let me know down in the comments. If you want to see more of this just random kind of video and me talking about a subject that I'm just learning about randomly, also let me know down in the comments below. Maybe tell me what you would want me to look at next and talk about next. I'm just kind of exploring with my YouTube channel. Yes, I would love to help you guys being organized, but I also want the freedom of kind of using my channel to make whatever I want and not being restricted to kind of one format. Yeah. So, did I conclude already? Okay, if I didn't conclude, like, subscribe, share, comment, there's many things that you can do. And I'll see you in the next video.